Happy Monday morning, everyone. I want to discuss the 60 Minutes interview with the released hostages that aired yesterday. Leslie Stahl gave the interview. She traveled to Israel and was in touch with a number of hostage families and was providing them a platform to express their concern about the hostages left behind in Gaza. There's been a lot of outrage on the right wing Instagram and commentary levels saying that 60 Minutes is biased and that it's presenting a pro Hamas view and not really giving a full consideration for the security concerns that the Israeli government has and that many Israelis have with regard to a hostage deal and the end of the war. And my answer to that is Hostage and Missing Persons Forum is arranging these interviews with 60 Minutes to present their perspective, their opinion, and their narrative, which they are 100% entitled to do. But it's important to understand that that's where 60 Minutes is getting the framing of the conversation. It's not as if 60 Minutes is approaching the situation without being prompted to do so. So when Yarden Bibas says that the war has to end now and that Trump is the reason why he's there and not the soldiers or Benjamin Netanyahu's, the negotiation, that's coming from his perspective, how he sees this thing playing out. And it's being communicated to 60 Minutes that that's the answer. So I'm not one to really defend 60 Minutes, but in this case, it's very clearly going from this is the perspective of the hostage forum. Yarden Bibas feels this. Keith and Aviva Siegel feel this way. They're presenting this as the solution to the ongoing crisis. Now, obviously, there are legitimate security concerns to be raised and questions to be had in the public square. And perhaps 60 Minutes should have also included a diverse group of perspectives that offer some of the nuance that's involved with the ceasefire and potential security considerations going forward. But it's not on 60 Minutes that this is how it's framed to many of the hostage survivors and the families. Not a judgment at all. Personally, I don't agree with this framing. I don't think that Hamas is serious about having any sort of peace or any sort of real ceasefire. I'm not entirely convinced, based on the people I've spoken to, that Israel will receive all of the living hostages and that Hamas won't hold them to be a bargaining chip. Again, let's be clear. The United States, Israel, and other allies have said that Hamas has no place in Gaza after a deal or after this war is over, which would necessitate them disarming and leaving. And I'm not sure that this genocidal terrorist group is going to want to do that. So, with all those things in mind, there's a complex discussion to be had. But the way the story is originated and the way that it's pushed forward to Leslie Stahl in 60 Minutes is not through that lens. It's pushed through the lens of people that have a singular agenda, which is to get every single hostage out, no matter the cost, and to end the war, no matter the cost. And they are certainly entitled to that perspective. And it's not on 60 Minutes that that's what they say. So the best argument against that segment is essentially saying that it didn't provide enough perspective on the security considerations or from families that truly do support Benjamin Netanyahu and the government. There are legitimate qualms to have and to promote that idea. But to say that it's somehow promoting anti-Israel agenda is not fair, because it's coming from the hostage forum, Bibas, Siegel, and other families saying that this is how they see the war ending. That's a little bit of the color on what's going on. I hope this is helpful in understanding how the segment comes together and how it's framed